Hey guys, welcome back to Diesel, where today we're going to dive into just how loud the one-touch power top is. Let's check it out. Alright guys, before we start, I just want to take this moment to ask you guys to subscribe to the channel. We've covered this Jeep quite a bit. We've got a TJ we're covering. We do some stuff with Jim and Amanda's JL. So if you're into anything Jeep, all things Jeep, new Jeeps, old Jeeps, make sure you subscribe so you can not miss a moment of Diesel. Alright guys, so if you haven't been paying close attention to the channel, one thing that Lisa and I really are not thrilled with about this Jeep is just the level of noise while you're driving it during normal driving. And we think that a lot of that is related to the one-touch power top that we have. If you guys aren't familiar with that top, I'll put a link to a video up above on the screen here where we kind of dive into the one-touch power top, what it is and why we like it. Well, we made that video a long time ago, and now, after about 15,000 miles worth of ownership, it's really starting to wear on us. I don't think we're ready to throw in the towel yet, but it is louder, and we want to understand just how much louder it is than maybe some other vehicles out there, and how much louder it is than a comparable Jeep with a hardtop, which should be the quietest option, right? Today, what we're going to do is we're going to take this for a ride. I'm going to test the decibel level with my phone. I have an app. And I'm going to test it in the front seat, the middle seat, and then in the back, and just kind of try and understand how loud it actually is. And then if you guys haven't seen yet, I'll put a link to another video up here. Our friend Amanda and Jim, Amanda has a 2019 JL Unlimited with just the hardtop, and we're going to benchmark this Jeep against that Jeep to see if the hardtop results in a quieter ride, right? So for the testing, I'm going to be using this Sound Meter X app. It's a free download. You can pay for some premium features, but all the free features should get us exactly what we need today. I was really kind of waiting to do this video until I bought like a OSHA approved like decibel meter or something like that, but the more I researched it, there's actually several different apps out there that are certified by OSHA, and this is one of them. So I thought this would be good enough, especially if we try and control the testing parameters and use the same device, which would be my phone, to test, right? Alright guys, so we're on the highway. We got the cruise control set between 70 and 75. So I'm going to start this decibel meter right here. Right off the bat, it looks about 90, between 90 and 92. And this is a little bit of a time-weighted average. This isn't exactly instant. And if you put it right up here where the driver's head actually is, it's more or less the same. The front cabin's probably all about 90 decibels, between 90 and 92 decibels. And again, that's highway cruising about between 70 and 75 miles an hour. Alright, so we're going about the same speed again, between 70 and 75. I'm going to put the decibel meter up there. It's actually, I can just tell by my ears, it's quite a bit quieter back here. That shows before we were seeing about 92. Now we're about 90, maybe a touch below, right? So now I just want to move it back to where the dogs would be. And it's even quieter back there, yeah, at about 87 or so, 88. So that's interesting. The loudest part of the Jeep is where the driver sits or up in the front. So what does this all mean, right? What are we trying to see here? Well, as you guys can see, the Jeep with the one-touch power top has this canvas construction up here, right? There's nothing here other than just a thin layer of maybe like sailcloth material or something to block the noise. And I really do feel like, you know, you don't feel noise coming from the windows or here or the sides. Your noise is coming right from this top. Just one of the drawbacks of having a top like this, it'd be the same if you had a soft top. I would expect a soft top to be louder, right? So what are decibels and what are we trying to measure with? Decibels are just a unit of sound or a way to measure the energy that's transmitted through the air that we classify as noise. And something I learned back in engineering school, decibels are on a logarithmic scale, we'll say, right? So 10 to 20 decibels, that difference would be twice as loud. the same is said for 80 to 90 decibels or 90 to 100, right? A change in decibels of 10 is something that is classified as perceived by twice as loud as your ear, or twice as loud to your ears. So when we go from, in this Jeep, 88, 86 decibels in the back to 92 up front, that's 1.5 times as loud. It's not the percentage change from 88 to 92. Every 10 decibels we go up, it's twice as loud. So there's that much more energy being transmitted to your ears and ultimately fatiguing your ears in the front as there is in the back, and then later when we go see how loud the hardtop is compared to this Jeep. Okay, so we're back on the exact same stretch of road in Amanda's Jeep now. We've got Jim behind the wheel. Don't crash, Jim. And as you can see, it's quite a bit quieter in here. Now remember, decibels are on a logarithmic scale, right? So we're looking at about 6 decibels quieter, 7 decibels quieter. Every 10 decibels you go down, that's half as loud and perceived, right? So even though we're only looking at 6 or 7 decibels, to my ears right now, you can just tell, and you can probably hear in the video too, it's just a ton quieter, a lot less fatiguing on your ears, right? So I'll put it right up here by Jim's ear, kind of the same thing. And then back here in the cabin, it's about the same, maybe a touch quieter, and that's what we really saw in Lisa's Jeep too, right? Was the loudest part of the Jeep is actually where the driver is. All right, guys, so you've seen the two Jeeps. We've driven them both. It's kind of funny listening back and editing the video. I can just tell that when we ride in a managed Jeep, it's much quieter. But to be honest with you, I was kind of shocked by looking at the actual decibel meter on the phone, because I thought a managed Jeep would be somewhere, around 10 decibels lower. So I've been reading a little more, and I'm going to try and clarify this in a concise manner for the video. So an increase in sound of 3 decibels measured on a decibel meter would be twice as much sound intensity. But it would take 10 decibels for your ears to perceive, or your body to perceive, the sound is twice as loud, right? So if you look back at the two Jeeps, we clocked Lisa's Jeep probably about 91.5 decibels. And I think Amanda's Jeep would probably be about 87, 86, somewhere in there. So let's say we have a reduction for simple purposes of 6 decibels. I think it's going to be close to that. So what that means is that we would have about a 75% reduction in power that is actually transmitted to your ears and ultimately fatiguing you, right? It wouldn't quite be perceived as half as loud. So what recommendation would I make to those of you that are out there looking to buy a Jeep? There's a couple things. I'm not as convinced that it's the one-touch power top as I was in the beginning before we filmed this video. Since then, we've actually tried to put some noise blocker as a headliner in Lisa's Jeep. It hasn't really made a difference. Maybe I'll try and do a video on that at a later date. I do think a lot of the noise we get is just from the boxiness of the Jeep, right? I mean, the windshield straight up, and the loudest point of the Jeep being the front of the Jeep tells me that a lot of the noise that we hear, the white noise, the wind noise, is literally just the air pushing against the windshield frame, right? And the one-touch power top, it might not be the sole result for all of our noise, but it's going to make a difference, right? I mean, my point with this video, if you're looking for a punchline or something like that, or a recommendation, is take every single thing into consideration, right? So if noise doesn't bother you, don't worry about it. If noise bothers you and you want a quiet vehicle, then just think about these things before you buy them, right? Like if you really want the Rubicon and you want the diesel engine, then maybe the one-touch power top isn't the best idea for you. Think about all those things when you buy the Jeep. It all adds up, and as you can see, the margins in this thing are razor slim, because when you're teetering on that 90 decibel level, anything above that's going to be really annoying and really loud. Anything below that's going to be a lot more bearable, right? It's kind of amazing. I think you would expect to see like an Audi Q5 or so, let's say. I think about 60 to 70 decibels, which would seem non-existent. That's like a whispering conversation, right? So that's just insane. The Jeeps have come a long ways, but I still think they have a long ways to go as far as noise, because, man, it's just tough if you want to be like us and you want to have your car be your adventure car, your daily driver, all those things. The noise can really catch up to you. It can frustrate you. So that's all I have for this video today, guys. It's a little lengthy, it's a little in-depth, but I really think it's important to have kind of a general grasp or understanding, because if you just look at that decibel meter and you say, oh, 92 to 88 decibels, that doesn't mean anything. It means a lot, because every little decibel you go up when you're teetering on that limit it can just kill you, right? So I do have a request for the viewers out there. Amanda's Jeep was not apples to apples comparison just for the top. I want to have someone out there with an EcoDiesel Rubicon soft top and an EcoDiesel Rubicon hard top test the decibels using the SoundMeter X app, kind of similar to what we did. So if you guys are interested in that, if you have that Jeep, leave a note in the comments, or we have a contact on the About page. Contact me. I would love to do that. It's just hard. It's hard to find these Jeeps to test when they're kind of rare, right? Shout out to Jim and Amanda. You guys have been great helping us test these things. We're definitely jealous of your quiet Jeep, so maybe we'll see if we can quiet this down a little bit. But that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe if you're interested in all things Jeep, JL, TJ. We'll see what else we can get our hands on. And thanks for watching. We'll talk to you next time.